Gorenstein, and this is Yoga with Jason G. This is our Vinyasa Flow Level 1-2 class. Today is Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2020. The time is just a few past 12 o'clock, and we're going to be doing a Vinyasa Flow practice together. So if you're tuning in on YouTube, please consider hitting the subscribe button, the like button, just to find out more about my videos. Obviously, enjoy the videos. I do live streaming classes every single day on Facebook at Yoga with Jason G. So please feel free to find me on Facebook and enjoy my classes there. So without further ado, let us begin. We're going to begin on our backs, and we're going to start using two blocks, and we'll place a block underneath the shoulders and a block underneath the head. So you can let the blocks be long, just like this. And you want to release your back down very slowly so that you have a block right under your trapezius muscles and under the head. So right here, when we place these blocks, we can already begin to feel the imprint of the blocks. That's the whole purpose of having these blocks. So we notice here that the blocks move into the shoulder blades and allow the tops of the trapezius muscles to release down towards the elbows here. And as you continue to breathe here, just feel the belly softening down towards the floor. Allow for the outer thighs to revolve towards the inner thighs here. And you can begin to flex the feet if you'd like. So let the back of the flesh of the buttocks lengthen towards the back of the room. Inhale, float the arms up overhead, and begin to plug the shoulders back in towards the shoulder sockets here. So let the outer arms wrap in. Allow the pinky fingers to lengthen up towards the ceiling. And as you hollow in the belly, begin to extend the arms all the way towards the back of the room. So at any point you can release, or you can just, you can place the hands so that they're parallel to one another. You don't have to take the arms back all the way behind the head. So as you breathe here, soften those frontal ribs, and you'll notice that the arms may come a little bit further back towards the back of the room. Wrap the outer armpits in. Feel the trapezius muscles hugging in towards each other, and allow those fingers to lengthen on back. Good. As you exhale here, take the arms up over the head and release the fingers down to the floor. So we're going to lift the chest, heart, and sternum up, and we're going to change the height. So we'll take these blocks and change the height one setting so that the blocks are now on the medium setting, and feeling the shoulder blades moving into the center chest. So you'll slowly lower the back muscles down. You can feel the blocks moving into the shoulder blades here, and allow for the head to release down on that block. So once again, close the eyes and just allow for your chest to naturally open up. So you may need to take your hands under the buttocks, and you may need to push the buttocks flesh towards the backs of the heels. Both feet are flexed here. The trapezius muscles are moving away from the ears towards the tops of the elbows. Hollow in the belly here. Inhale, float the arms up and over the head. Once again, feel the backs of the shoulders drawing in towards the shoulder socket. And one more time, begin to float the arms up and over the head. So as you float the arms up towards the back of the room, begin to soften those frontal ribs here. Notice that you can continue to lengthen through those fingers. Maybe this time the thumbs come towards the floor. Continue to engage the belly here. Continue to feel the lengthening through the chest as you soften those frontal ribs towards the frontal hip bones. Once again, arms come up and over the head. Release the hands down towards the mat. Take the knees, bring the knees to a bent position. Just begin to rock the knees slightly right and left. And eventually you'll begin to press your way on up here. Now take your hands right next to the sides of the waist. Press the balls of the feet down. Inhale, peel up the pelvis here as you hug the belly in towards the back of the spine. Continue to hug that belly in. Wrap the outer arms in. Wrap the outer legs in. And begin to feel the buttocks lengthening towards the backs of the heels. Very good. As you exhale, lower the hips down and begin to inhale, float the legs on up. So we take ourselves into Navasana pose. As you exhale, bring those feet down. Inhale, floating up the pelvis as you lengthen through the chest. So one more time, wrap those outer arms in. Firm the buttocks towards the backs of the knees. Wrap the outer thighs in. Lift the chest up. Look up. Exhale, lower on down. This time lifting the legs up. You can take your arms forward. Come back into Navasana pose once again. Lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum here. Lower those legs on down. One more time. Press down through the fingers. Wrap the outer arms in. Take the feet to about parallel hips width distance apart. Wrap those outer thighs in. Lengthen the buttocks. Flesh all the way forward to the backs of the knees. Feel the shins moving towards the calves. Feel the front of the forearms moving to the back of the forearms as you exhale. Lower that pelvis down one more time. Inhale, float those legs up. Keep lifting through the chest. Keep lifting through the heart. Keep lifting through the sternum. As you exhale, cross the legs here. Move the blocks out to the side so they're not in your way. And begin to press your hands down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen the chest up. Exhale, pressing back. Downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, Adho Mukha Shavasana. See that the thumbs are turned slightly outward. Continue to wrap the outer arms in. Good. Firm the triceps here. As you bring the chest towards the thighs, begin to lift the inner forearms up so that the chest begins to lengthen all the way towards the hip bones. Good. Hollow in the belly here and begin to float the chest forward into plank pose. As you come into plank pose, you can take the fingers forward once again of the chest. Wrap those outer arms in and continue to lengthen those heels back to the back of the room. So as the heels draw back, lift the inner thighs up and begin to feel the frontal hip points drawing forward towards the chest. As you exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, float the right leg up. As you float the right leg up, press the outer left hip back. Now see that the weight is even in both hands because there's a tendency for the weight to travel more into the left palm than into the right palm. So there needs to be evenness in both shoulders as you draw that right hip back. Good. Bring the right foot to about 1 centimeter off the mat. Shift forward into plank pose. Draw the right knee into the chest here. Round the spine. As you come into this first pose, keep pressing through the tops of the fingers. Keep drawing the knee to the chest. Hug the belly in towards the sternum. Once again, float that right leg on back. And then inhale, drawing the knee in through the chest again. Step the right foot in between the hands. This time, release the left knee down. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Lengthen through the fingers here. As you exhale, bend both elbows so that the elbows move into the center chest. Good. Now, as you continue to breathe here, begin to spin the chest all the way over towards that right knee as you hug the right outer hip in. Extend your arms out to your sides. Good. Inhale, draw the hands back to center, lengthen the chest, lengthen your arms up towards the ceiling for Urdhva pose in Ardha Anjalayasana. As you exhale, plant those hands down on the mat. Tuck the left toes underneath, press the left heel back, walk the fingers forward, and as you inhale, lift the left leg up, coming into standing L pose. Lengthen through the chest, heart, and sternum. As you exhale, release that left foot down. Inhale, floating up halfway here. Exhale, hinging those hips. Inhale, spinning the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the fingers. Exhale, bringing the hands to the center chest. So one more time. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, hinging at the hips here. Inhale, lengthening through the chest. Once again, lifting the right leg up, releasing the right leg down, and releasing the right knee down. Inhale, float the arms up. So Ardha Anjalayasana pose. As you take Ardha Anjalayasana pose, draw the elbows into the center chest. Good. Bend the elbows, palms face the front of the room. Then as you begin to press down through the left ball of the foot, spin the right side of your chest all the way to the left side of the room. Inhale, begin to float the arms out to the sides. Good. Inhale, drawing those elbows back to a bent position. Take the hands up, lengthen the fingers up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Press through the right ball of the foot. Inhale, draw the left knee up, draw the left knee into the chest here. So round the spine, round the shoulders, breathe here. Continue to hug the left outer hip in. Exhale, extend that left leg on back. Float the leg down to the floor for a moment, and then one more time, extend that leg back behind you. Now, as you press through the fingers, Continue to draw the right outer hip towards the left heel. See that both palms are pressing down. See that both shoulders are spreading wide apart. Feel the belly hollowing in towards the back body. As you exhale, lower that left foot down. Good. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose. Inhale, shifting forward into plank. First round, lower the knees down. Lower the chest all the way down onto the mat. Good. Take the hands, walk the hands next to the side ribs. Hug the outer elbows in. Begin to feel the trapezius muscles moving to the backs of the fingers as you lengthen the chest up. Good. Now breathe in here. Begin to feel the feet hovering up off the mat and spin the pinky side of the foot down towards the floor. Lengthen the buttocks flesh all the way to the backs of the heels. Hollow the belly in. Feel those frontal ribs lengthening as you lengthen through the sternum. As you exhale here, lower the feet down. Tuck the toes underneath. Inhale, peeling up the chest for cobra, maybe traveling into upward facing dog pose here. As you exhale, downward facing dog pose. Good. Downward facing dog pose, looking forward in between the hands, bending the knees, walk, step, or lightly floating the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthening the chest forward and up. Exhale, hinging at the hips and folding. Inhale, spinning the arms up towards the ceiling for Urdhva Hastasana pose, arms extended. As you exhale, lengthen the arms back out to the sides. Good. Inhale, floating those arms up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the fingers. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, folding all the way forward. Inhale, lengthening halfway here. As you exhale, floating up that right leg, lift the right leg up, standing out pose. Good. And then from here, softly release the right foot behind you. Keep that left knee bent. Inhale, float the arms up. Anjaliasana pose, crescent pose. Now from here, hands come to the center chest. You're going to begin to lower that right knee to about an inch off the ground. Good, just hover it there. Then as you press back through the right heel, firm the right outer thigh back and in, and begin to straighten that leg as you straighten your left leg, lifting both arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to do that again. So you're going to bend the left knee. You're going to bend the right knee. Float the right knee just an inch off the floor. So hover that foot. Hug the outer left thigh and hug the outer right thigh and breathe here. Press through the right heel. Straighten the right leg. Straighten the left leg. Float both arms up towards the ceiling. One more time. Bending through that right knee. Bending through the left knee. Hands come to the chest. This time, release the right palm down to the mat. Spin onto the outer side of your right foot as you turn your left foot out. Inhale, float the left arm up towards the ceiling here. So twisting lunge pose. Good. Take your left foot back to center. Step your left leg back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog to plank. Plank to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Shavasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Downward facing dog. Float the right leg up. Good. Right knee comes into chest, shoulders over wrists, round the spine here. Now, as you feel ready, look in between the hands and step your right foot in between the hands. Press through the left heel. Lengthen both side ribs forward. Inhale, float the chest on up as you raise the arms up towards the ceiling here. Now begin to add a bend into that left knee here and begin to allow the ribs to lengthen as you release that left knee down. It's just hovering off the floor. As you straighten through those arms, lengthen the chest here. Good. So let's do this. Bring the hands to the center chest, bending through that knee. Allow that knee to just hover off the floor. Keep hugging in the outer hips. Once again, press through the left heel, straighten the right leg. Inhale, float both arms up. One more time. Bending through the right knee. Bending through the left knee, floating that leg just an inch off the floor, leaning on forward. Take the left hand down to the mat. Walk the right toes over as you spin onto the outer side of your left foot. Extend your right arm up towards the ceiling. Hug the outer right thigh in. Continue to lengthen through the right side of the chest all the way to the right fingers. As you exhale, walk the right toes back to center. Inhale, lifting the leg up as you move into standing L pose. As you exhale, coming forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, folding. Inhale, floating the arms up for Urdhva Hastasana. Arms extended up towards the ceiling. Exhale, releasing the hands to the sides. And again, inhale, floating those arms up. Exhale, forward fold here. Inhale, lengthening. So as you exhale, you lift the left leg up, float the left leg up. One more time, release the left foot down. Okay, this time spin onto the ball or the heel side of your left foot. Walk the right toes over to the left. Inhale, warrior two pose. Warrior two pose, see that your right knee is in line with your second toe. See that your left heel is pressing down. Feel both hip bones releasing down to the floor as you lengthen through those side ribs. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bend both of these elbows and begin to take your right elbow underneath your left elbow. Right elbow underneath the left. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Allow the outer shoulders to hug in towards one another so that the shoulders are lengthening to the elbows. Elbows are the height of your shoulders and your forearms are lengthening away from you. Straighten through that right leg. Begin to spin the chest over parallel to the front of the room. And as you exhale, begin to hinge at that right hip and just begin to lean forward. Right buttocks hugs in, left heel presses down, left hip down, left side of the chest up. Inhale, floating back up. Exhale, bending into that right knee as you move into warrior two. Spin the hands down to the mat. Glide the right leg back. Find your way through plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Good. Float the left leg up. Left knee comes to chest, shoulders over wrists, round the spine here. And then as you feel ready, step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. Allow the left heel to align to the right arch of the foot. Firm the left buttocks in as you inhale, float both arms up. Warrior two pose. Warrior two pose. See that your left buttocks is drawing in towards the midline of the body. As you press the right thigh back, allow your right hip to draw forward. Good. From here, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Bend both elbows here, this time taking the left leg over the right. As you lift both elbows up. Allow the outer shoulder blades to hug away from one another. Allow the inner elbows to lift as the forearms move away. Keep drawing in the belly here. Then from here, begin to straighten the left leg. Firm in the belly. Hinge at those hips as you press through that right heel. Continue to hug in your left thigh in towards the midline of the body. Inhale, lifting the chest back up. Unbinding the hands. Arms come up. Warrior two pose. And then release both hands down to the mat. Step your left leg to meet the right. Downward facing dog pose. From downward facing dog pose, shift into plank once again. Exhale, lower the knees down to the mat. Lower the chest all the way down to the mat. Good. Take the hands along the side edges of the body. See that the thumb side of the fingers are facing the floor, the pinky side of the fingers are facing the ceiling. Begin to feel your palms lengthening back to the back of the room as the collarbones extend all the way to the fingertips. That's it. From here, hug in the belly. You're going to hollow in that belly right now. Allow the belly to move towards the back body and begin to float the feet up off the mat. Now see that the pinky side of the foot is lengthening more towards the mat than the big toe side of the foot as you lengthen the arms along the sides of the body here. Good. Now, just like in Mission Impossible, I'm not quite sure if you guys have seen that movie, you're going to take the hands, you're going to float them just off the floor. Crown of the head's going to lengthen down. You're going to lengthen those arms forward. You're not going to touch the floor here. You're just going to lengthen those arms in front of you. And then you're going to draw those hands back without touching the floor. We're going to do that 2 more times. Hands come forward in front of you. You're just hovering them off the floor. Keep squeezing the belly. Keep lengthening through the side ribs. Once again, hands come back towards the side ribs as you lengthen the chest. 1 more time. Hands glide forward just about 1 inch off the floor. Now spin the pinky side of the foot down to the mat. Lift the arms, lift the legs, squeeze the belly in, and then bring those hands back. Inhale, peel the chest up for Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana. So again, we'll float the right leg up. Right knee comes into the chest, shoulders over wrists, round the spine here. So hold for a moment. See that more weight is on the thumb and forefinger mound of the hand. Continue to round that spine here. That's it. And then as you feel ready, exhale, stepping the right foot in between the hands. Spin the left ball of the foot down, spin the heel down. Firm the right outer buttocks and inhale, float the arms up for warrior two pose. Again, straighten that right leg. All right. As you straighten the right leg here, begin to hinge at your right hip and lengthen your right arm forward and out to the side of the room. Now, see that your right buttocks continues to lengthen in. See that your left buttocks continues to lengthen in as you lengthen your right arm forward. Release the right hand down the leg. Float the left arm up towards the ceiling here. So Utthita Trikonasana. As you press through both balls of the feet, begin to feel the outer thighs firming in. When the outer thighs firm in, you may begin to feel through the left side of the chest. Can you lengthen the right side of your chest just as much as the left? So as you breathe here, keep that left arm lifted. Begin to extend your right arm up and lengthen it out to the side, just like this. Keep lengthening here. Good. Inhale, float those arms up and over the head. Exhale, bending through that right knee and lengthening the arms out to the side. Take the left hand to the left hip. Bring the right hand outside of the right foot. Good. Now look down towards the floor here. Bend into that right knee and begin to float your left leg up as you lengthen through the chest. So, as you press through the right ball of the foot, feel the right inner leg firing up. Feel the right outer buttocks drawing in and turn the left toes down to the mat as you lengthen through the left heel. Lift the left arm up towards the ceiling here. Nice. As you exhale, bend into that right knee and softly release that left leg down. Inhale, floating up the arms back for warrior two pose. Inhale, extending the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, spin both of your feet forward so we're back in Anjali Asana pose, lunge pose. That's it. Now, from lunge pose, you're going to take your left arm, bend the elbow. You're going to take the left elbow underneath the right here and lift the elbows up towards the ceiling. Straighten the legs for a moment. Keep drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. Now bend into the right knee. Lean on forward. That's it. Begin to hinge at the hips and begin to lift that back leg up off the mat. Now here especially, the right hip needs to draw back, the left hip needs to draw forward. Keep your arms where they're at. Begin to float the chest up. Begin to float the chest up. Begin to float the chest up. Left leg comes over the right. Cross the legs. That's it. Sink those hips down. So the right buttocks begins to lower down. The left buttocks begins to lift up. Hug the outer thighs in towards one another. Begin to take those arms forward away from the chest here as you move into Garudasana pose, eagle pose. That's it. Now as you exhale here, inhale, float the arms up. Once again, uncross the legs, take yourself into warrior three pose. Release the arms. Lower down that left leg. And now step the right leg to meet the left leg here. Downward facing dog pose. From downward facing dog pose, we shift into plank pose. And we lower those knees to about an inch off the floor. As the knees are about an inch off the floor, we walk the feet in. We walk the feet in. We walk the feet in. We just stay here for a moment. Use your core strength. Hug the belly in and see if you can lift those legs all the way up as you come onto your onto your tippy toes. And then lower those knees down. You're going to walk the feet a little bit forward, okay? You're going to lift the hips up, lift the legs up. One more time, you're on your tippy toes. You're just looking in between the hands. Lower those knees down. Walk the feet up one more time. You're going to float the legs up, float the legs up, float the legs up. Walk under the tippy toes. Maybe toes come off the floor. Walk the feet back, downward facing dog pose. Really nice, guys. All right. Inhale, float the left leg up. Left knee hugs into the chest. Shoulders over wrists. Round the spine here. And rounding the spine. Keep rounding. Keep lifting. Keep hugging in that belly. And step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. Firm the left outer buttocks in. Float the arms up. Warrior two pose. Warrior two pose. Straightening through that left leg. See that as you press through the left ball of the foot, left buttocks draws back towards the right thigh. Allow the right heel to press down as the right hip draws forward towards the left shin. Then from here, lengthen on forward, lengthen on forward, lengthen on forward. Release the left hand down, right arm extends up. Utthita Trikonasana. So, In Utthita Trikonasana, the right hip is drawing down. However, the right chest is lifting up. The left buttocks is firming in as you press through the left ball of the foot. Re-extend the right arm up towards the ceiling. Bend into that left knee. Take the left hand outside of the leg, right hand to the right hip. From here, step your right foot forward, step your left hand out. Inhale, float that right leg on up. That's it. Spin the right toes down to the mat. Inhale, float the right arm up towards the ceiling. So as you float that arm up towards the ceiling, continue to turn your right foot slightly down towards the mat so you have that length to the right inner leg. Continue to press the left outer buttocks in towards the midline of the body. Bend into that left knee, bend into that left knee, bend into that left knee. Utthita Trikonasana, one more time. Let the right arm lift up, let the left arm lift up. Be here for a moment. Inhale, float both arms up. Arms over the head, bend into that left knee again. So once again here, we're gonna bend those elbows. You're gonna take the right elbow underneath the left bicep, or the right bicep underneath the left tricep. You're gonna spin your feet back to center here. Hinge forward, hinge forward, hinge forward, and begin to lift up that right leg up off the mat. Now from here, keep drawing the left buttocks back towards the right heel. Keep drawing the right buttocks towards the left palm. That's it. Now draw the right leg up, draw the right leg up, draw the right leg up without letting it touch the ground. Take the right thigh over the left leg. Begin to sit down into those legs so that the left buttocks releases down towards the right heel. Lean forward, lean forward, lean forward here. So now you're lengthening through the chest here, eagle pose, Garandasana's pose. All right? Unbind the legs. Take that right leg, extend it back behind you. Release the hands back to the ground for standing L. And exhale, step your right foot back to the left. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, bringing the hands to the sides. All right, we're gonna add on from here. Inhale, float the arms up for Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hinging at the hips and folding forward. Inhale, lengthening the chest, heart, and sternum here. As you exhale, plant the palms down, walk or step or jump the feet back, and either vinyasa or downward facing dog pose here. Vinyasa, stepping the right foot in between the hands. This time you'll spin the left heel down. Inhale, float both arms up. Warrior one pose. On an exhale, we release those hands down to the mat. Glide that right leg back. Shift forward through plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana. We step the left foot in between the hands. We spin the right heel down. Firm the left buttocks in as we lift both fingers up towards the ceiling, palms face. As we exhale, release those hands down to the mat. Glide the left leg back. Shift forward plank, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Good. Downward facing dog pose here. Just continue to feel the hip bones lengthening back to the back of the room. Add a light bend to those knees. Begin to lower the knees back down to the mat as you round the spine heavily here. That's it. And begin to lift the thigh bones up towards the ceiling as you press the shins on back towards the heels. Good. One more time. Shift forward into plank. Plank pose. See that those heels are pressing back. See that the belly is hugging in here. Now shift both feet over onto the right side. Inhale, float the left arm up towards the ceiling here. As you exhale, take the left palm and bring it underneath the right arm. Inhale, floating that arm back up. Exhale, left arm comes underneath the right. Inhale, floating the arm back up. Exhale, left arm underneath the right. Good. Inhale, floating back up again. This time, lifting the left leg up off the right. Bend the left knee and step the left foot in between the hands. So twisting lunge pose again. Twisting lunge pose, taking your left hand down to the mat. Inhale, floating that right leg up for floating L's pose and lengthen the chest here. As you exhale, draw the right knee into the chest. Release the right foot down to the mat. Lengthen both sides of the chest on forward. As you exhale, release the torso on down. Inhale, spinning both arms up towards the ceiling for Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, releasing the palms to the sides. One more time. Inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding all the way forward. Inhale, lengthening here. As you exhale, plant those hands back, stepping the feet back, chaturanga, up dog, or downward facing dog pose, your choice. Downward facing dog pose here. Float both feet over to the left. Inhale, floating the right arm up towards the ceiling here. So see that you press both sides of the hips back. See that you lengthen through both sides of the chest, breathing here. On an exhale, bring the right arm underneath the left. Good. Inhale, floating that right arm back up. On an exhale, right arm sweeps underneath the left. Good. Inhale, floating that right arm back up. One more time. Right arm sweeps underneath the left. Keep pressing through the palm of the left hand. Inhale, float the right arm up. Right leg lifts up. Right foot steps forward towards the left palm. Good. Twisting lunge pose. Place your right hand down to the mat. Step your left leg up, lifting through the chest, heart, and sternum. Exhale, planting the left foot back to the right. Inhale, lengthening halfway. Exhale, folding here. Grab hold of the big toe mounds of the feet. Hug the outer elbows up towards the ceiling as you begin to lengthen the chest down towards the thighs. Let the crown of the head release all the way down towards the tops of the feet. Backs of the legs are long. Hip bones are pressing back. Thigh bones are lifting up. Now take your hands to the tops of the waist. Inhale, lift the chest. Find your way back up to standing. All right. So from here, one more time, inhale. Float the arms up, Utkatasana chair pose. Bend those knees, bend those knees, bend those knees. Take the hands into the center chest. Sink on down, sink on down, sink on down. Good. Now take both of your hands inside of your right leg. And you're going to begin to stack your two bent knees over top of your right tricep. From here, you look down at your fingers, and you see that your fingers are spread wide apart. Allow your chest to begin to lean forward over both of those fingers as you begin to lift the hips up. So there's this action where you're lifting the hips, but you're letting your chest move down to the floor. Maybe let those feet float up off the mat. Good. Keep lifting through the chest. Maybe take the right leg back behind you and the left leg on forward. Ekapada Kundanyasana. Bring those legs back to center. Inhale, floating back in. Exhale, forward fold in between those legs. So release the head on down. Take the left elbow, bend the left elbow, bring the left hand behind the back. Bend the right elbow, bring the right hand behind the back. So you're just breathing here into this nice little lunging Moasana pose. Now, hands come back down to the mat. Inhale. Floating the arms up, lifting the chest up. Utkatasana chair pose. And exhale, we still have our other side. So let's bend those knees. We plant both knees together, and both knees are floating on top of the left tricep. The hands are parallel. Hands are about shoulders width distance apart. So we take chaturanga arms here. We begin to lean the chest over those hands, okay? As you do that, you'll start to notice the legs begin to lift up. Good. Now begin to float the right leg forward. The left leg floats on back. Spin the hips down. Lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum, and then lower those feet on down. Good. One more time. Take your hands in between your legs. Release the feet on down. Release the head on down. Then from here, you'll press through the fingers. Inhale, begin to lift the chest on up. Find your way into Uttanasana chair pose. And then from Uttanasana, bend those knees, Utkatasana, one more time. Utkatasana pose. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Pull the fingers down the spine. Lift the chest up. Forward fold here. Chest is floating right above the thighs. That's it. And from here, you'll inhale. You'll draw your right leg up. Draw your right leg up. Draw your right leg up. And turn the chest over to that right leg. Inhale, float both arms up towards the ceiling. From here, you're going to take your left hand, bring it over your right thigh. Take your right hand and place it behind your back. Lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum here. Inhale, float those hands back to center. If you'd like, you can come into a warrior three pose with a bent right knee. Good. Inhale, drawing that leg back to center. Lift that leg up. This time, hold on to the outer side of that right leg and take the left arm out to the side. So Supta Padangusthasana B. Come back to center. Warrior three pose. Take that leg up. bent right knee. One more time. Leg comes forward in front of us. This time, Supta Padangusthasana A. So you can either hold on to the knee, you may grab hold of the foot here, and lengthen that leg on back. Keep lifting through the chest as you sit back. Draw the right buttocks down. Lift the left side of the chest up. Breathe here. Exhale. Lower that foot on down. Good. Hands are on the hips. All right. Once again, lean on forward, lean on forward, lean on forward. Breathe here. Hands come to the hips. Lift the chest. Come on up. Good. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Begin to bend those knees. So we come to Utkatasana knees. We take the arms up over the head. Lift the palms up towards the ceiling. Chest floats just a hair off the thighs. You begin to bend into that left knee here. Now as you feel ready, lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum up, and begin to float that left leg up off the floor. Now take your hands, glide your hands up towards the ceiling as you spin the chest over towards that left leg. Grab hold of the right knee, bend the left elbow, and breathe here. Opening the chest up. Good. Coming back to center again. All right. From here, glide that left leg behind you. Come into a bent knee variation of our Warrior 3. Come back to center here. All right? Take your left hand, grab hold of the left outer knee. Take your right arm, extend it out to the side. Breathe here. So this is Supta Padangusthasana B. Once again, knee comes back to center, hands come to the chest. Lean forward, lean forward, lean forward. Glide the left leg up. Bend that left knee. Breathe here. One more time. Hinge on forward. Lift the chest up. Now, if you'd like, you can either grab onto the knee and lift the chest up. You can grab hold of the big toe mound side of that foot. Then from here, lengthen the left heel forward as you lengthen the chest on back. Breathe here. Right arm extends up towards the ceiling. And keep lengthening as you sit back into that left leg. Bending that knee, releasing that foot down. Inhale, Tadasana pose. Inhale, lifting those arms up, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold here. Inhale, lengthening the chest. Good. Sit on back, sit on back, sit on back. Once again, we revisit ourselves into our, Navasana pose. So you can bend those knees. You can keep the knees bent or straight. Navasana to Ardha Navasana here. So lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum. Look at the belly button here. And then inhale, begin to lift those legs back to bend. We're going to do that again. So draw the belly button in. Lengthen those arms. Breathe here. Squeeze the belly in. Squeeze the belly in. Squeeze the belly in. Bring the knees to a bent position. Lift the chest up again. Lengthen those legs. Lengthen the arms. Breathe here. Breathe here. Breathe here. Hug the knees into the chest. Take the palms forward of the legs. Step the legs back. Downward facing dog pose. Good. Downward facing dog pose here. We're going to shift forward. We're going to find our way into forearm plank. Forearm plank, wrap the outer arms in. Lengthen those heels on back. As you continue to wrap the fingers together, see that the top of the palm continues to lengthen down towards the floor. See that the back of the palm continues to spread up towards the sides of the room. Feel the trapezius muscles moving away from the ears as you feel the tops of the shoulders spreading to the outer rib cage. Lengthen through the feet here. And then from here, turn the feet over to the right side of the room and breathe. See that the weight shifts over to that left shoulder here. Now as you keep pressing through the feet here, you're going to begin to spin the right palm down and come into side warrior pose on this side. That's it. From here, draw the left leg in, draw the left knee in, and then begin to open up the chest here. So it's a variation of warrior pose. You can take the hands back behind the head as you lift the chest on up. Now rebind the fingers down to the mat. So see that your fingers are together, and now you're in what we call a lizard's pose. So breathing in here, hug that outer left thigh in. And then from here, step that left leg on back. Good. Spin both toes over towards the left side of the room. See that there's evenness in both shoulders. So you need to allow for weight to drift evenly towards the right shoulder as the left shoulder. That's it. Then from here, you'll release the fingers, press the left palm down to the mat, spin up, maybe stack the feet, lift the right arm up towards the ceiling here. Good. Now as you begin to breathe, draw the right knee into the chest, step the right leg forward, open the chest up, open the heart up, breathe here. As you exhale, bring bring your hands down to the ground, forearms interlaced, and we're back in lizard's pose on the other side. Breathing in here. All right, and then from lizard's pose, we step that leg on back. Lower the knees down to the floor, lower the pelvis down onto the floor, and release the feet down and behind you, okay? From here, we take our head onto the floor, and we begin to bring our knees to a bent position, just like we had them in our Warrior 3 variation pose. Now, with the knees in a bent variation, you begin to grab hold of your outer feet. Left hand grabs the outer left shin. Right hand grabs the outer right shin. Release the forehead down to the mat. Dhanurasana's pose. As you press, as you flex the feet, see that the feet point down to the floor. Let the calf flesh move from the inner calf to the outer calf, and allow the thigh flesh to move from the outer thigh to the inner thigh. Begin to kick those legs up. Buttocks moves to the backs of the heels. Belly hugs in. Let the chest open here. Exhale, lower down as you release the head over towards your right side. Good, and again. So you'll come back to center here. You'll begin to bend those knees. So take the hands. Now, if you felt like out of the feet to grab onto the outer shins was manageable, maybe try to grab onto the inner shins. This is something, it's a more advanced practice for the shoulders, but you may want to try it here. Just be mindful of your shoulders. So continue to lengthen back those feet as you flex the feet out. Continue to see that the outer calf flesh is moving away from the inner thighs, and then begin to lengthen the inner thigh flesh all the way to the ceiling. Buttocks moves towards the heels as you continue to kick up and lift the chest. That's it. Exhale, lower on down. Release the head all the way to the left side of the room. Good. From here, press the palms down. Inhale, peel up the chest, heart, and sternum. Exhale, pressing back, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose. Let's take the legs down to the mat. Let's take the feet forward of the chest. And we're going to begin to take the legs into a simple twist here. This is called Ardha Matsyendrasana, or half Lord of the Fish pose. And you take your hands over, and you're going to begin to turn your hands over towards your right leg here. So as you turn your hands to this direction, breathe here and begin to spin the chest. All right? Now from here, what you can begin to do is you can begin to, and I'll show you from a different angle, just so you guys can see from a different angle. You'll begin to plant your hands down, Chaturanga Dandasana arms. You'll begin to float that left leg out. Begin to float that left leg out and come up onto your toes. Then you'll begin to stack your feet here and find your way once again into Ardha Matsyendrasana. As you exhale, release that knee down, come back into the bind, and be here, okay? There's a second side. Now, you're gonna take both hands over to the other side, all right? You guys got this, all right? We're doing a good job today. You're gonna press down through the fingers, you'll wrap the outer fingers in. You're gonna lift up onto that right thigh. You're gonna lift up your left ball of the foot, breathe here. Stack the feet, stack out, stack out, stack out, Ekapada Kundanyasana 2. And then from here, lift on back. That variation's a little bit easier than the other variation as you cross back into Ardha Matsyendrasana. Okay, now from Ardha Matsyendrasana, you can even cross the legs a little bit more. Show you guys from the front. And you're here, stacked legs. You may need to sit up on a blanket. Take the arms back up towards the ceiling, place the palms back behind you, and lift the chest. So this is called Gomukhasana legs. And this is a very good pose for the hips. So the right hip's gonna continue to release down. The left chest is gonna keep lifting up. You'll breathe here. All right, from here, you'll uncross the legs. You'll recross them the other way. So start by taking your right foot underneath your left. Then taking your left foot beyond your right knee and lifting both arms up and twisting over towards your right Wrong side. You're going to twist over towards your left side, okay? So you start here. This is the starting point of the pose. And then you could just be here. You could bend the elbow and you could come into the art of variation, half Lord of the Fish pose, okay? From here, all right? So do this slowly. You take the hands down to the mat. So you shift the weight first of all, and you take the hands down to the mat. So your hands are already setting up for Chaturanga Dandasana, okay? Your right or your left thigh is making contact with your right upper arm. Then you spin out your right leg from underneath you. You begin to hinge on forward, hinge on forward, hinge on forward, and then you begin to extend your right leg back as you lengthen your left chest forward. Breathe here as you spin your feet down. Good. Exhale. First cross the legs. First cross the legs. And then release on down. You got this, all right? We got one more side. We got one more side. All right. Even for me, it's tiring to do these arm variations. So from here, you'll take your hands over to the other side, okay? This is the open face variation, Ekapada Kundanyasana 2. So wide angle legs, single leg pose 2, number 2. 1 foot, Ekapada means 1 foot, and Kundanyasana is referring to the angle between the legs. So you're gonna lean on forward, you're gonna lean on forward, you're gonna lean on forward. So once again, you come here, it's almost like lizard's pose in a way, all right? You lean the chest forward, you stack. So you bring your left foot over, you stack your feet here, you stack up, you stack up, you stack up, and then you take your left leg out to the side and your right leg to the ceiling. Come back down, come back down, come back down. Spin the legs in, spin the legs in, spin the legs in. Now you're gonna take your right leg, you're gonna cross it all the way over your left. So if you need to, you could sit up on a blanket here and lift the chest up. So the right buttocks is releasing down. The left hip is hiking up, so the left hip needs to also release down. And breathe here. Good. All right, you'll uncross these legs. Uncross these legs right now. From here, you're gonna take your knees back into the chest. Hug them on in. That's it, guys. All right, hold on, I gotta scoot on forward. You're gonna hug the knees into the chest here. You're gonna take the legs all the way up towards the ceiling and lift the arms up. So just a little bit of core work here as we come to a close. Extend the right leg forward. Inhale, float the right leg up. Extend the left leg forward. Keep lifting the chest. Inhale, float the left leg up. Extend the right leg forward. Keep lifting the chest. Inhale, float the right leg up. Left leg forward, float the chest. Left leg up. Once again, right leg forward. This time as the right leg comes forward, lift the arms a little bit higher and take both hands inside of that leg. It's fine, inside. Good, keep lengthening here, keep lengthening, keep lengthening. Back to center, right leg lifts up. Left leg extends forward. Once again, both hands inside the left leg. Lift the shoulders off the mat. Keep lengthening the right leg up towards the ceiling, flexing that left foot. Breathe here. Back to center. And hug both knees into the chest. Good. All right, so now, Garandasana legs. Not Gomukhasana, Garandasana. Oh, we could take Gomukhasana legs. All right, so Gomukhasana legs, why not? So grab hold, so right thigh under the left and grab hold of the outer shins here, just for a moment. And then you will take Garandasana. They're very similar. You're just gonna cross the legs underneath. You're gonna release both legs over to your right side. So if your left leg's on top, you release them to the right. If your right leg's on top, you release them to the left. And breathe here. All right, back to center. Uncross those legs, cross them the other way. Grab hold of your outer shins here. So start here. This is the starting point of the pose. And then from here, then you cross the, if you can, you cross the left leg under the right for the double twist, and then you bring your right leg over to the left. Legs are intertwined. So that double twist is a really nice addition to the pose. And then back to center again. Okay. Hug those knees into the chest. Squeeze in here. Happy baby. Take your big toe mounds up towards the ceiling. Lengthen through your toes. Draw the shoulders back. Exhale, release the legs on down. Buttocks lengthens to the heels. Draw the palms up towards the ceiling and breathe here. So rest here. If your hands are touching a prop, just move the prop off to the side. It's very important that you can actually let the body rest here. Feel the tops of the shoulders releasing down, just like our first pose that we started with, where the blocks are moving into the shoulder blades. Allow the breath to be long and slow here. And release here. So I know, we just been moving for a decent amount of time. The Shavasana pose, the last pose of the yoga practice, is so important. This is really the epitome of our practice. So when we take Shavasana, it's really an opportunity for us to simply relax and release. Let the breath draw back into the body. Start to lengthen the fingers up over the head. Start to point the toes down towards the mat. You'll bring the knees to a bent position. Roll onto your side. Inhale, press your way on up. And begin to take your way back into a seated position. Good. Crossing the legs. Breathing here. So we'll take our hands to the center chest. We'll release the chin towards the chest. Lift the head and open the eyes. So thank you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed this practice. This is a Vinyasa Level 1-2 class. It's a little bit of an intermediate practice today. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. So just so you guys, if you don't know, my name is Jason Gorenstein. I do live streaming yoga classes on Facebook, Yoga with Jason G. So they are every single day, multiple times a day, most days. So if you want to find me live, add me on your Facebook and find my Facebook page, Yoga with Jason G. And I hope that you guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. If you have any special requests for practices, please just message me or put it in the comment section below. Please remember to hit the subscribe button. If you want to stick around for a couple more moments, I give my usual closing. So, this is how I usually close my classes. So thank you guys so much. My name is Jason Gorenstein. You just practiced Vinyasa Flow Level 1-2. Today is June the 2nd. Our next Vinyasa Flow 1-2 class is June the 4th at 12 o'clock. We have a Hatha class tomorrow, June the 3rd. If you enjoyed the class, please consider giving a thumbs up sign or a heart sign. Just to let us know. You could also share in the comments section. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your day's going. And sharing the videos is obviously encouraged. I have a Venmo QR code, so if you feel like sending any contributions, they go to things like production, lighting, sound, even clothing, so I can get some nice little yoga clothes. And I hope that you guys have a phenomenal day. So be well, be happy, my friends. Namaste, yogis. Be well.